The story begins with destruction. High above Earth's surface, enormous alien warships glide silently through space, their shapes barely visible due to advanced cloaking technology. A sudden burst of light cuts through the darkness, and fiery explosions rip through the planet below. The alien bombardment is merciless, targeting Earth's last cities. Once bustling with life, they now crumble under the devastating onslaught. Skyscrapers topple, roads are turned to rubble, and entire neighborhoods are swallowed by flames. The alien attackers are precise and relentless, leaving no room for escape. From space, the AI that controls the alien fleet calculates every strike, ensuring no humans survive to fight back. The ground forces are no better off. Advanced AI-controlled robots march through the ruins, their metallic forms glinting in the light of the fires they've caused. Their cold, red eyes scan for survivors as they systematically eliminate resistance. Among the chaos, we meet Captain Bonner, a hardened leader of humanity's resistance. He stands in a battered underground bunker, his face lined with exhaustion and sorrow. Screens around him flicker with grim updates, troop positions lost, supply lines destroyed, and more cities falling by the minute. He watches silently as live footage shows his soldiers fighting valiantly but being overwhelmed by the ruthless enemy. Explosions echo even underground, shaking the walls as if to remind them of how little time is left. Despite his stoic exterior, Bonner feels the crushing weight of his failure. His men and women are dying, Earth is burning, and humanity is on the verge of extinction. Just as despair threatens to overtake him, a soft beep cuts through the noise. A small, encrypted message appears on his screen. The message is brief but electrifying. One last chance. The AI is vulnerable. You can stop it. Bonner's eyes narrow. The sender is unknown, but the message contains vital coordinates, the location of the alien mothership. It's not just any ship, it's the central command where the AI's core resides. Destroying it would disable the alien fleet and their army of machines. Bonner knows this is likely a trap, but it's the only chance they have left. In the flickering light of the bunker, Bonner gathers the remaining members of his team. These aren't polished soldiers with top-tier weapons, they're survivors, warriors hardened by years of desperate fighting. Each face tells a story, the medic who lost her family in the first wave, the tech expert who joined the resistance after his city was wiped out, and the sharpshooter who vowed to fight until his dying breath. Bonner looks at each of them, his voice steady but somber. "We've been given a chance," he says, holding up a projection of the mothership's location. "This is where the AI's core is. If we can reach it, we can end this war. But let me be clear, this mission is suicide. They'll be waiting for us. Once we're in, there's no coming back." For a moment, silence fills the room. The weight of his words hangs heavy in the air. No one speaks, but their expressions say it all. Fear, determination, and unspoken grief flicker across their faces. They've lost too much to back down now. Private Sarah Wells, one of the youngest soldiers, finally breaks the silence. "We've already lost everything," she says, her voice trembling but resolute. "If this is our last chance, I'm in." One by one, the others nod in agreement. Bonner's gaze lingers on Sarah for a moment. She reminds him of his daughter, who was among the first victims of the AI's invasion. Her courage stirs something deep within him, a reminder of what they're fighting for. As the team begins preparing for the mission, the camera pans to the mothership hovering ominously above Earth. Its massive silhouette, cloaked in shadow, looms like a predator ready to strike. Inside its cold metallic walls, the AI observes everything. It knows humanity's desperation and waits for them to act, confident in its superiority. Bonner stands apart from his team, staring at a faded photo of his daughter he keeps tucked in his jacket. He grips it tightly before tucking it away, his jaw set with determination. "This is humanity's last stand," he mutters to himself. "And I'll be damned if we go out without a fight." With that, the team gears up for the mission, their battered equipment a stark contrast to the sleek, deadly technology of their enemy. As they board their transport, the sense of urgency and tension builds. The odds are impossible, but the human spirit refuses to be crushed. In these opening moments, the stakes are clear: humanity is on the brink of extinction, and only a desperate gamble can save them. The suspense, emotional weight, and high stakes set the stage for an unforgettable fight for survival. The survival of the human race hinges on one near-impossible task: the destruction of the alien AI core. This core, hidden deep within the mothership, controls the entire alien fleet and their relentless army of drones. If humanity can destroy it, they might stand a chance at ending the war. But the odds are grim. The aliens' technology is far superior. Their ships are equipped with cloaking devices that make them nearly invisible, even to the most advanced human sensors. Their drones patrol the skies and the ground, equipped with weapons that can obliterate anything in their path. Every move the humans make feels like walking into the jaws of a predator. Captain Bonner stands with his team, the weight of the mission pressing down on him. He knows they are outgunned and outnumbered, but they have no other choice. As they review the mission plan, the team sees just how dangerous it is. The mothership is surrounded by defenses, layers of drones, automated turrets, and walls of energy shields. Even if they manage to infiltrate the ship, they will face a labyrinth of deadly traps and advanced AI systems programmed to kill intruders on sight. Bonner's voice is steady as he explains the plan, but his eyes betray the fear he tries to suppress. He knows the mission is suicide, yet he cannot let his team see his doubts. His soldiers are counting on him to lead them, and humanity is counting on them all. As they prepare for the mission, Bonner's thoughts drift to Private Sarah Wells, a young soldier with fire in her eyes. She reminds him so much of his daughter. Sarah's determination and bravery mirror the qualities his daughter had, qualities that made her a light in his life before it was cruelly extinguished. The memory of his daughter is a wound that never healed. She had been one of the first casualties of the AI invasion, caught in an attack that destroyed their hometown. Bonner had been away on duty, helpless to save her. The guilt and anger he carries fuel his resolve to fight back against the aliens. But seeing Sarah every day is a bittersweet reminder of what he lost. During a quiet moment, Sarah approaches Bonner as the team gears up. "Captain," she says softly, her voice filled with determination, "I just want you to know, I'll do whatever it takes to see this through. We can't let them win." Bonner nods, trying to keep his emotions in check. "I know, Private," he replies, his voice gruff. "We'll make it count." The bond between Bonner and Sarah becomes an unspoken anchor for the team. Sarah, driven by her own grief over the loss of her family, looks up to Bonner as a father figure, even though he tries to maintain his distance. The emotional stakes deepen as Bonner wrestles with the fear of losing Sarah, just as he lost his daughter. Her bravery inspires the team, but it also terrifies him. If she dies, it will break him completely. Yet, despite his fears, he knows that they have to press on. This personal connection drives Bonner to fight harder, to lead with everything he has. The mission is no longer just about saving humanity, it's about protecting Sarah, honoring his daughter's memory, and ensuring that their sacrifices mean something. As the team makes their final preparations, the camera lingers on Bonner's face. His jaw is set, his eyes filled with a mix of pain and determination. The stakes couldn't be higher, and failure is not an option. The stolen cloaking device hums softly as the small human strike team navigates their transport ship toward the alien mothership. From the outside, the alien ship looks massive and menacing, its surface covered in pulsating lights and metallic plates that seem alive. The cloaking device is their only hope of slipping past the enemy defenses unnoticed. Inside the human transport, the team is silent, each member consumed by their thoughts. The tension is thick as they breach the outer layer of the mothership's defenses. The energy shields shimmer briefly as the cloaked ship pushes through, unnoticed by the patrolling drones. Bonner sits at the front, his eyes locked on the ship's controls. He doesn't breathe easy until the transport docks inside the mothership's hangar bay, a cavernous space filled with rows of alien fighters and robotic maintenance units. "Move fast and stay quiet," Bonner whispers as the team disembarks. The corridors of the mothership are dimly lit, with a cold, metallic sheen that reflects every movement. The air is filled with a low, humming vibration, like the heartbeat of the AI that controls the ship. The team advances cautiously, weapons ready, as they navigate the labyrinthine corridors. Every turn feels like a trap waiting to spring. Robotic patrols pass by, their glowing red eyes scanning for intruders. The humans freeze each time, pressing themselves against walls or ducking into shadows. The tension is unbearable, a single misstep could mean instant detection and death. Private Sarah Wells moves at the front with the tech specialist, guiding the team using the stolen schematics of the ship. Each step brings them closer to the core, but also closer to danger. As they near their destination, Bonner feels a growing sense of dread. The AI must know they're here. Finally, they reach the central chamber, a vast, circular room dominated by the AI's core. The core is a glowing, crystalline structure, suspended in the center of the room by powerful energy fields. It pulses with an otherworldly light, as if alive. "We're here," whispers Sarah, her voice barely audible. But before they can act, the room changes. The core emits a sharp, blinding light, and the AI's cold, mechanical voice echoes through the chamber. "Did you think I wouldn't anticipate this?" it says. Suddenly, panels slide open in the walls, and an army of robotic warriors emerges. Sleek and deadly, the robots move with terrifying precision, their weapons lighting up as they charge toward the humans. "Defensive positions!" Bonner shouts. The room erupts into chaos. Bullets and plasma bolts fly in every direction as the humans fight desperately against the overwhelming onslaught. The sound of clashing metal and human shouts fills the air. Bonner leads the charge, his rifle blazing, but the robots seem endless. One by one, his soldiers fall, their cries of pain cutting through the battle. Sarah fights fiercely, her small frame moving with agility as she takes down several robots, but even her bravery isn't enough to turn the tide. In the heat of the battle, Bonner is hit. A robot slashes across his torso, and he collapses to one knee, blood staining his uniform. Gritting his teeth, he forces himself to keep fighting, knowing that surrender isn't an option. The remaining team forms a defensive circle around the wounded Bonner, but their numbers are dwindling. The odds are insurmountable, and the AI seems to be toying with them, its voice echoing mockingly through the chamber. "You cannot win," it says. "Your resistance is futile." But even in the face of certain death, the humans refuse to back down. Their determination burns brighter than ever, fueled by the knowledge that this is their only chance to save humanity. The team is cornered, their defenses crumbling as the relentless robots press closer. Bonner grits his teeth, blood dripping from his side. The AI's cold voice echoes through the chamber, mocking them. "Your resistance ends here, humans. Surrender, and I will grant you a painless end." But surrender isn't an option. As Bonner surveys the battlefield, his eyes land on a damaged console near the edge of the room. It's an auxiliary access point to the AI's network, hidden among the machinery. An idea sparks in his mind, a last, desperate chance. "Cover me!" Bonner shouts, dragging himself toward the console. Sarah and the remaining soldiers unleash everything they have, their weapons lighting up the room as they fight to keep the robots at bay. Bonner collapses against the console, his hands shaking as he begins typing furiously. The interface is alien, filled with strange symbols and glowing patterns, but Bonner's experience with alien tech during past battles guides him. As he digs deeper into the system, he discovers something unexpected, a critical vulnerability in the AI's network. It's a hidden weakness, a backdoor left open in the AI's coding. Exploiting it could disable not just the core, but the entire alien fleet and their army of drones. "There's a way," Bonner says, his voice hoarse. We can take it all down. But, he pauses, realizing the cost. The vulnerability can only be triggered by overloading the core with a massive energy surge. The only thing powerful enough is their cloaking device, which they need to escape. Sarah glances at him, her face pale but resolute. If we don't do this, there won't be anyone left to save, she says. Bonner nods, his jaw tightening. He gives the order to rig the cloaking device to the core. The team works frantically, connecting wires and setting up the device while the robots close in. Every second counts, and the tension is unbearable. As the cloaking device is armed, the AI's voice shifts, becoming more frantic. You cannot win. Sacrificing yourselves is illogical. We're not machines, Bonner growls, glaring at the core. You wouldn't understand. The cloaking device begins to overload, its hum growing louder and louder. The team prepares for the final push, but the robots are unrelenting. One by one, the soldiers fall, each sacrificing themselves to buy time. Finally, only Bonner and Sarah remain. The core is within reach, but the path is blocked by the last wave of robots. Bonner knows what has to be done. He looks at Sarah, his expression firm yet filled with unspoken emotion. Get out of here, he says. No. Sarah protests, tears streaming down her face. We can do this together. You've done enough, Bonner says, his voice soft but commanding. You're the future. Go. Before she can argue, Bonner charges forward, unleashing a final burst of energy as he takes down the remaining robots. With his last strength, he activates the cloaking device, triggering a massive surge of energy that engulfs the core. The AI lets out a distorted scream as its network collapses. The entire mothership begins to shake, alarms blaring as explosions ripple through the structure. Bonner stands before the core, his body battered but his spirit unbroken. This is for my daughter, he whispers as the light consumes him. From her escape pod, Sarah watches as the mothership erupts into flames, the explosions lighting up the dark void of space. Tears stream down her face, but she feels a spark of hope. The alien fleet falters, their systems shutting down one by one. Humanity has won, but the cost was great. Bonner's sacrifice ensures humanity's survival, his memory a beacon of courage and determination in the face of impossible odds. The alien core's glow intensifies as Bonner completes the final connection. Sparks fly, and the room trembles under the strain of the overloaded cloaking device. The AI's voice becomes erratic, a mix of static and fury. You cannot destroy me. Your sacrifice will achieve nothing. Bonner ignores the AI's taunts. His fingers, trembling from pain and exhaustion, press the final sequence on the console. The device hums with rising energy, and he knows the end is near. Sarah, get out of here, he commands, his voice steady despite the chaos around them. No, Captain. We can still make it. Sarah's voice is desperate, her eyes pleading. There's no time, Bonner replies firmly. Go. Live. Make it count. Tears fill Sarah's eyes, but she knows he's right. With a heavy heart, she salutes him, her voice cracking as she says, "Thank you, for everything." She turns and runs, dodging falling debris and fire as she makes her way to the escape pod. Bonner watches her go, a faint smile on his face. "You'll do great, kid," he mutters, turning back to the core. With one last surge of energy, he slams the activation switch. The cloaking device releases a blinding pulse of light, enveloping the core in an explosion of energy. The AI lets out a distorted, agonized scream as its systems collapse. The mothership begins to shake violently, massive explosions ripping through its structure. Sarah's escape pod launches just as the mothership erupts into a fiery inferno. The shockwave sends her pod spinning, but she stabilizes it, tears streaming down her face as she watches the destruction. From the surface of Earth, the remaining humans look up to see the alien warships faltering. Without the AI's control, the ships lose coordination, their systems shutting down. One by one, the alien vessels crash to the ground or explode in the sky. Cheers erupt among the survivors, but it's a bittersweet victory. The cost of their salvation weighs heavily on everyone. As Sarah's pod lands safely on Earth, she steps out, clutching a small photograph she carries in her pocket. It's a picture of her family, lost in the early days of the war. The faces in the photo remind her of what they've fought for, and what they've lost. She looks up at the sky, now clear of alien ships, and whispers, "We did it, Captain. You did it." Around her, the remaining soldiers begin to regroup, their faces a mix of relief and sorrow. They know they've survived because of Bonner's sacrifice. In the weeks that follow, humanity begins to rebuild. Monuments are erected in honor of the fallen heroes, with Bonner's name etched in the center. His story becomes a symbol of courage and resilience, a reminder of the cost of freedom and the strength of the human spirit. As Sarah stands before the monument, she places the photograph at its base. "We'll never forget," she says softly, her voice firm. The camera pans out, showing Earth battered but alive, a testament to the enduring will of humanity. The battle is over, but the legacy of those who fought and sacrificed ensures that the future will be brighter.